So, okay, let's see, we're going to click this small. We're going to click this small. And we're going to open this. Okay, so this is my experimental greenhouse. So there's nothing too special about it as shown here. But what it is I live in Victoria, BC, and my greenhouse faces south, or roughly south. It's actually a little bit southeast, which is good. But that's just decided by the lay of the land here. And it conforms to the bylaws, so it's the maximum size allowed. It's 10 square meters of footprint. So 10 square meters is the size that I'm allowed, so I made the biggest one I could with the last I had. The north side, you will notice that the planter box is higher than the planter box at the south side. And the reason for that is because most of the time the sun shines from south of the east-west line. So most of the time the sun is shining in from the front of, from the south side of the greenhouse. And there's not that much light going in on the north side. Okay, so there's the greenhouse. Now we're just going to go. So many people, there's all sorts of designs where the greenhouse is half underground or where the north side of the greenhouse is covered. And I'm going to show you the reason why mine is mostly open to the sky all around. Now what I might do at some stage is insulate this north side of it, but I'll probably do it with an extra layer of plastic, and I'll show you the reason in a little while. So this here, the top piece shows the amount of sun, the mean monthly sun hours for Vancouver. So I live in Victoria, which has almost the same climate as Vancouver. So January, 51 hours for the month. February, 79, etc., 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 as we go down. And in the high summer, we're getting around 260 hours of sun, and then it dips down in October and November and December. It really dips down quite a lot, 66 and 49. So not much light in November, December, January, or in October really for that matter. Now we'll go to Calgary. So Calgary is a little bit further north than we are, but they have a different climate. It's cold, but their sun hours in January, they have more than twice as much direct sunlight as we in Vancouver or Victoria have. In February, almost twice as much, 79 as opposed to 144. In March, we're starting to catch up a little, but they still get significantly more. So about 50 hours in March, more sun than we do. And then April, 220 to 160. So all the time, it's because we have cloudy winters. We have cloudy, rainy winters. So in Calgary, it is worthwhile insulating the north wall of your greenhouse in winter, because all the sun is coming, all the light is coming directly from the sun and coming from the south. But in cloudy Victoria, you're getting to 51 hours, the 79 and the 124. And at the other side of the year in December, 49 hours. So we're getting very, very little direct sunlight. And the light is coming through the clouds. And when the light comes through the clouds, it's coming from everywhere. It's coming from north, south, east and west. And because we don't get the freezing cold that Calgary does, and because we get light from everywhere, it's much, much less important to be insulating the north side of your greenhouse, or to have your greenhouse underground like in Calgary. And so that's a big reason. Now we go to rainfall as well. Um, in my greenhouse, oh, where are we? In my greenhouse, oh, sorry, this is temperatures. So Calgary gets, let's see, where are we at? Daily mean, so -7, -5, and this is all centigrade, -1, 4, 9. So they're getting pretty cold average January, February, March. But all their sunlight, all their light is coming directly, and this is a massive boost if you can use this light to warm up your greenhouse, the direct sunlight, because it sends a lot of direct infrared as well. You can do wonders. So I've made a little bit of a mistake here because I didn't check the rainfall. But here in Victoria, Vancouver, we're up 4, 5, 7, 10, and that's livable temperatures. January, February, March. It's just we don't get as much light. I'm just going to go back to the other one. Sorry about this. So, oh yeah, here we have the average precipitation millimeters. So the reason I have a big water storage under my greenhouse is to save the water from the winter and use some of it for the summer. So we're getting this massive 178 millimeters, 180, going down to 86, 69, and we go down to Calgary, and we're 0.1 of a 9 millimeters, 9, 17, 25, 56. So their rainfall actually comes when the plants are able to grow, whereas in Vancouver, a lot of our rainfall is coming when the plants are almost dormant. And this is why I have a large water storage one of the reasons I have a large water storage under my greenhouse. So we'll go back again to the greenhouse. So under this one and under this planter, I have a considerable amount of water storage. And the water is for two things. It's to store heat from the days when the sun does shine. I pump the heat from the air down because it heats up the sun heats up the air in the greenhouse very quickly, which is not that wonderful for the plants because they get a shock. But if you pump the warm air down as it's heating up, the soil has something like, I think it's 1,200 times the heat capacity of air. So that means that when the air warms up, you say a kilo of air will warm up quite a bit. Say it warmed up, say 10 degrees, or say 12 degrees, then that would heat up a kilo of soil by maybe 0.12 of a degree. It's a tiny, tiny amount. So this is why we take the heat from the air, pump it down into the soil and into the water, and then it can radiate out at night. So that's it for my experimental greenhouse for the moment. There's much more of it than this, but this just shows that it's aimed to the south and it's kind of terraced. So you have the higher terrace at the back. You walk in between. Now, the reason this one is wider than that one is simply because the free patio door that I got dictated the size. So I can walk in, and this only goes this far because just to get as much space for planting as possible. Okay, so we're going to click this small, and then we're going to, so how do you find north and south? And what you do is you just go to Google Maps and then just check out your place, and just move around the thing on the map. And you can even measure the heights, the shadows of trees if you know you know, what hour that the thing is. And it's a great way of snooping your neighbours as well. You can see what your neighbours are doing. Not that you should be doing that. Anyway, so we click this small. What else we're going to check? Oh yeah, we're going to check. Now, depending on where you live, the sun shines in very different, it gives you a very, very different amount of sun per day, etc., etc. Or, no, what would you say? This is, I'll explain this a little bit slowly, but it'll make sense to you in a little while. So, stellariumweb.org. So you go search Stellarium, which is an astronomy program, and then you don't have to download anything. It works in your browser. It'll work in any browser. So the Opera browser, or the Google, or the Microsoft browser. Anyway, I'm just using Opera because it's handy for having a few different browsers at the same time. So the first thing you do is you get to stellariumweb.org, and it'll open something like this, and the date will be right, but the time will be wrong. And what you do is you come over here and click on this, and then you open it opens up a little map. And so this is where I am. So I say use this location, and then we can so you might have to search, you might have to type in the sun here, and it'll find the sun for you. So you click on the sun, and then it'll give you details about how high the sun is in the sky. So, oh yes, this is the one, this is the grid that you need to enable, this one here. And atmosphere, let's see, atmosphere, you disable the atmosphere, and then you can actually see what's in the sky. So ALT, AZ-ALT is the one you need to enable here. And this gives the height above the horizon, or sorry, this gives, let's see, this is, so north, fully north is 0 on this scale. Then east is 90, so this is 90, and then south is, what is it? 180, and then west is 270. So this is a way for you to check where the sun is going to be at different times of the year. So different days, different times, different hours. So I have it set for the 6th month and the 21st day. So this is the longest day of the year. So we're going to change to the shortest day of the year. We're just going to go, these are the months, so we're just going back. 3, 2, 1. So the shortest day is the the 21st of December at 6:31 a.m. The sun is nowhere to be found. So we're going to move this around. So the sun is just underneath here. So you go back to here, click on it, and we're going to see the sun is at 109, but it's below the horizon. So it's 14 degrees below the horizon. So we're going to add an hour or see where the sun is. Oh, the sun is almost up now at 7:32. So we just bring the sun till it's at 0 here. So this -2. So we're going to go to 0. So we're going to add up a couple of minutes. And there we go. The sun is at just above the horizon now, and it's 8:19. So that's when the sun rises on the shortest day of the year in Victoria. And now we should see where it rises. So there's east. So that's 15, 30. So it's about 30. It's 38, 39 degrees further than east. So The actual is 99 and 3. 93 is, sorry, 1530. So 90 uh, uh, is 128. So it's 9. I can't do math in my head at the moment. 93 is 120. Yeah, so it's anyway, it's almost it's around just over 30 degrees south of east is where the sun rises. And then we're going to go to when the sun is at its highest in the sky. So when it's above south, how high will it be? And you could, this here is tells you the height of the sun. So we're just going to go a few hours further up in time. So the sun is coming up in the sky, hasn't passed there, it's just passed south, and we're just going to go back now with the minutes. And it's pretty close to the highest in the sky right now. There we go. So this is 18.06 degrees. That's the highest the sun is in the sky. And now we'll go to the only time of the year when the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. So if you bring the sun around, it's going to set pretty much the same as it rose. So it's going to, where did it, I've forgotten where it rose, but we'll go back. We're just going to go back here a few hours, see where the sun rose. So it rose 30 degrees, 30 something degrees south of east, and it's going to set 30 something degrees south of west. So we're going to go, here we go. It's going down now. There we go. It's 30 something degrees south of west. So it's all in the southern sky in the winter. Now we're going to head on to March. So January, February, March. And it's March 21st. So we're, now this actually accounts for time change, summer and winter time too. So we're going to go, so we're going to go, so 18 degrees was the height of the sun in at its highest in winter. And we're just going to go back to, we'll go back to dawn. So it's going to rise in the east. So it rose maybe, yeah, it's going to rise almost exactly in the east. And then, so it's 7:13. So it's going to have a much longer day. So now we're going up in the sky. We're almost passing. We'll just get close. We won't get perfect. So there is the highest the sun goes in the sky. It's at exactly south, and it's 42 degrees up. So 18 and you know, the 23 makes 42. So anyway, 42 degrees is as high as it gets in the sky, and then in the west it's going to set well, obviously the same 13. So it's just going to set exactly in the west. Now we're going to go to June 21st. So okay, June. Now we're going to go back to dawn again, and we're going to show where the sun starts off its little adventure. So don't worry about that. Okay, oops. What happened here? Okay. Anyway, okay, we are going, sorry about that. We're just going to see where the sun rises on the longest day and the time. So 7, 6. Okay, so this is pretty close to dawn. It's at 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. 7:06. Where's north? So 15, 30, 45. So it's 50 degrees off of north. So, or sorry, 53 degrees east of north is where it rises. So it doesn't rise in the east, obviously, on that day. It's way up. And it's way up north of east. And now we're going to see how soon the sun gets to 18 degrees, which was the highest it got in winter. Okay, so we're going to, so 6 o'clock, it's at 9 degrees. So it's been, oh sorry, it's been in the sky for an hour and it's at 9 degrees. Now it's 23 degrees. So after 2 hours, so the sun has been up for 2 hours already on the in June on the longest day, and it still hasn't crossed the east-west line, and it's higher than it ever was in winter. And we're going to add another hour now. We're going to 8 o'clock. Still hasn't crossed the east-west line. So if you have your north side of your greenhouse totally insulated, you're missing what is it? 1, 2, at least 2 hours of direct sunlight when the sun is higher than it ever was in the winter. So you're missing a whole heap of sun every day for, you know, nearly every day in June. You're missing 2 hours of decent sunlight if you have blocked your north wall, you know, if you've fully insulated and covered your north wall of your greenhouse. So now we're going to go, sorry, we're just going to turn our little stellarium. So your sun is going up, and we're going to go up to see how high it goes in the sky. So remember now, it's way higher already than it ever was on any day in the winter. 10, 11, 12. So we're just going to go back a bit. We don't have to have it perfect. So at 1:14, it's as high as it's going to get, and it's about it's 64 degrees. So it's way up in the sky. Remember, in winter it was at just 18. It's at 64 now. So all this matters for siting your greenhouse, because you got to figure out, you know, for instance, in my place there's a tree blocks the greenhouse in say February, but it doesn't block it in January because the bottom limbs of the tree have been removed, so the sun is able to shine through from the 18 degrees, but once it gets up to 25, 26 degrees at its highest, it's blocked. And it's actually blocked for maybe an hour this time of year in March, whereas in a few days it'll go completely around without ever being blocked by the tree, just because the sun goes so much higher in the sky in summer than in winter. And this is different at every location, so I would urge you to either just check Stellarium on the web or download it, and if you download it, you could actually consult with people at their places, because this really only sets the web version really only sets to your location. You know, the one that you download, you can set everything pretty easily in it. Well, it sets to it can set to any location, but your time is going to be wrong if you use the web version for other locations. So anyway, that's just my brief little talk about using, I guess, unusual tools to help you design your greenhouse, and the reasons why different designs work in different places. The main thing is seasons here, and the fact that rainfall is out of sync with temperature and sunlight in Vancouver and in Victoria. It's totally out of sync in Victoria because we get the most rainfall in winter when we don't need rain at all, and we get almost no rainfall sometimes right through the summer. So anyway, I hope that helps people make the choice between their underground, really bunker type greenhouse and an overground one, and depending on your situation. And yes, you have to check this. The height the sun goes is different in different parts of the world. So you need to check to see where it rises, where it sets at different parts of the year, and then you can better decide where to site your greenhouse and how to build it. Anyway, I think that's it. I will say thank you, and I hope this works. And stop recording.